Welcome to Moonlit Lioness. I'm going to do Friends Friday Read from the Universe, and I'm glad you're all here with me. Thank you for spending your time with me. I've got some decks out here that I'm going to use Oracle decks as a way to kind of get an initial idea of what the universe wants to talk about, and then after that, I will pull on the tarot. So let's get a card from each of the decks here. What is your message this week for us? This comes from the Sacred Destiny. So that's where that comes from. And then I will pull one from this deck. And that one's showing itself right off. And that one comes from Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And let's get one from this. Okay. Oh, we got two there. All right. And that comes from Oracle of the Hidden Worlds by Lucy Cavendish. And the last one here are angel numbers. So if you like angel numbers, oops, that one's going to fall right out. Then here we've got angel numbers, angel number oracle cards. Let's see. I don't think it says who it's by. Manufacturer. It's just like a private person who made them. So here's our cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the deck. So our message for the week. What is our message for this week? Shuffle this a bit more. I'll start with the angel number 9999. Lessons learned. I don't know if it's blurry or visible, but take stock of your accomplishments and how you arrived at them. This is a reminder to maintain optimism and drive toward your goals. Maintain your momentum and know that the powers of heaven have your back. You made it. And the reward goes to yo, you. So, culmination, results, benefits, reflection, completion. That sounds very promising. So, this is about coming to completion like a full moon, coming to completion on something. Next card is delight, and it sounds like it's going to be very positive. And we've got a bird. Is that a type of sparrow, maybe? Um, in a meadow with flowers. I love that picture. It's very peaceful and yes, delight. It makes you feel delight. And then I will pull this one from our star seed, and it says breath of the cosmos. And it has someone that kind of looks like they're communing almost with the cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Interesting. I might have to read some on that from the book because that is an interesting topic. And then finally, we've got two that came up here. I'll read one at a time. Number 25, open like the lotus, flowering spirit, revelation, maturity. And that goes right along with the angel numbers saying we're at a culmination point. So, for those of you who are listening, it sounds to me like you're reaching a point of fruition, a culmination of your project is right there ready to bloom. It's ready to go. Okay, this is 27, full moon temple, and here we got the full moon again, which again, like I said, that 9999 reminds me of full moon with the culmination, results, benefits, celebration, peak, transcendent moment. And the fact that it says transcendent um, kind of connects to this card here, where we have uh, micromanaging the universe. And she looks like she's kind of transcending to some extent there. So I want to look at the breath of the cosmos from that deck and see what that says, because that's intriguing me at the moment, and it's something I think I need to read more on. So let's go to 42. Breath of the cosmos. When we rely on our own will, we're micromanaging the universe and resisting the natural flow of life. We're not trusting the mysterious breath of life. We're rejecting the great cosmic intelligence and relying instead on our personal strength. When we do this, we find ourselves attempting to bend things to our will. We spend our time forcing, pushing, and living from a space of trying to. Everyone around us can feel it, and the universe can too. You're being called to stop micromanaging the universe and trust the breath of life, to surrender to the greater will that God has for you, to move from my will to thy will. When you surrender to the greater will of life, you begin dancing with the rest of life. When you bow to the great mystery and say, please use me, please show me the way, little by little, you find yourself living your most fulfilling, authentic life. When you surrender your personal will, when you relinquish control and release the way you think things should be and surrender to the greater will, you find yourself being led. You begin breathing the breath of life. Very nice. You know what it makes me think of? So this is about letting go and trusting in the divine and the universe. And it's something that I've seen in the astrology over and over again in regard to where the nodes are right now. Right now, our nodes are in, um, the South Node is in Virgo, which is very much about micromanaging. And the North Node is in Pisces, which is about letting go of that micromanaging and trusting more in the divine or your own inner self, your intuitive self. Um, and those nodes, this week or this coming week, they're reaching 0 degrees and then they're going backwards again. So they'll be in Virgo and Pisces a little longer, but usually when they get to the final degree before they cross over, and they'll be crossing over into Leo and Aquarius. It's like unfinished business needs to be taken care of. So it's kind of like um, you've got um, it's like this push, like this message is giving you. There's this push to let go of this micromanaging um, and trust more in the divine. And because that message is here with these other oracle cards, which seem to be about, we've got open like the lotus, full moon temple, and the culmination. It's like um, that is the key, the key. And it's in the cosmos, it's in the astrology for everybody to just let go and trust in the divine and don't micromanage. And I need to listen to that myself because boy, do I sometimes just, I mean, there's a certain amount that you gotta, there's a balance that needs to occur. There is a balance. But if you find yourself if you're overwhelming yourself with that, then um, definitely we need to bring ourselves back into balance and learn to trust that things are going to work out, you know. Okay, so off now that I'm done with that. Let's go ahead and pull the tarot and see what's going to happen specifically this week in regards to this message that we're getting here with the Oracle. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles. See that right there. I want to move these up. I want to move this up here and so they're a little more aligned. There we go. All right. And we've got the Knight. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, two Knights, the Ace of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, Pentacles and Wands, and the Two of Wands. All right. And here we've got the Four of Pentacles, Temperance. We don't have a whole lot of major arcana yet, so well, there's another one, High Priestess. And okay, the Wheel of Fortune. All right, so um okay, as far as what I see going this week. All right. I see the overall theme, the underlying theme is we're we are transcending and moving into this culmination of learning to trust in the universe and learning to trust in the divine and in ourselves and the more the spiritual nature and have this trust instead of trying to make everything work out just right. And as we do that, you know, we might struggle with certain things. So in the first part here, at the beginning of the week, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. He's someone who moves carefully. He's methodical. He thinks carefully before he moves, and we're holding on here. We're holding on tight uh, to what we've got. You know, she's holding on to her purse. She's trying to, you know, fours are stability. She's trying to keep herself stable, um, and think carefully. You know, we're all thinking carefully and being stable, you know. So we're kind of moving from that energy into here where we've got the Knight of Wands and the Temperance. And the Knight of Wands, you know, they're passionate, you know, they're ready to go out. That's like the fastest card in the deck. They're like, whoom. And with the Temperance down here, it's like, again, that's a fire card, you know, it's a Sagittarius card. And it's also about alchemizing and things happening. Um, so I think there's a passion igniting, definitely a passion igniting and wanting to do something, or perhaps maybe even there's like an insight that happens. You know, it's like you're going along, being careful, and then all of a sudden, boom, you've got this sudden insight that hits you, and you're like, okay, what, you know, it's something that you're ruminating in your mind, you know, with the Temperance card, kind of like, what does that mean? You know, so maybe you get this great new idea for you know, if it has to do with your family environment, maybe you get this great new idea for bringing the family together. Or if, you know, if it's work related, you get this great new idea for, you know, something you can create at work. You know, if it's uh, love related, maybe you get this great new idea for romancing, you know, a new person in your life. but there's definitely something that kind of hits you, boom, and and I think that's the Knight of Wands energy there. And then Ace of Pentacles, we move forward from that into this uh the physical. So Ace of Pentacles is new physical thing. So you're taking this idea that hits you and see that there's roots actually coming out from under the pentacle, like, so it's becoming something real and physical, and it's establishing roots. So, uh, in other words, you're manifesting something, right? Um, and here we got the Page of Pentacles, and that's like the small ace. So you've got two cards here indicating manifestation of something of an idea that hits you this week. And then after that, there might be, so here you've got the Nine of Wands, which is um, she's guarding her spot. She's like, yes, I'm sticking with this idea. I'm not going to back down from it. I'm going to keep moving forward with it. And it, it's like with the High Priestess underneath it, it's kind of like maybe you don't completely share it with everybody. Maybe you keep it under wraps a little bit. Um, and you don't just say, "Hey, everybody, I've got an idea. Let's do," you start manifesting it and you start doing something. So like, if you have an idea for getting everybody together, you start looking for venues, and you actually start doing something that's making it a reality, right? But you're not telling everybody yet. So this to me is about, um, I want to do this, but I'm not going to tell everybody. And this can be challenging too, this Nine of Wands here. It's like somebody who's battled it out, but they're still standing. So there might be a little bit of effort that's required, the extra effort in order to bring this thing out. And then ultimately at the end of the week, it looks like, so we got the Two of Wands, which is somebody who is kind of surveying the territory, in the Rider-Waite, they survey the territory and they're looking to see um, where they're going to be heading. It's kind of like looking at a map before you get there, right? So here's somebody who's from a protected place surveying the territory. So this is something where you get an idea and you start to manifest it, but you're still in the very early stages of this idea. And even though it's interesting, so here we've got all kinds of information talking about culmination of something. So let me finish here. I went back over here too fast, but so at the end here, we're still kind of, I think we want to stay in a protected place until something changes, you know. So if this were about money, maybe you have a new idea because here we've got pentacles at the beginning. And so we're being careful with our money, but we have this idea about maybe an investment or something to do with our money that will benefit us in some way. But we're still ruminating or we're just thinking it over, thinking out maybe details or looking at options or looking at potential outcomes. And then maybe we decide to go ahead and put a little bit where we're talking about, or at least get a slight start, put a deposit on something, I'm not sure. So, but there's pentacles here and pentacles here. So, but it doesn't have to be money, but that's a really easy example to give you as far as what this means. And then, um, you've got the challenge area here, and it could be there's a challenge for something that's not clear yet. You've got challenges, but you're not sure where they're coming from or not sure why you're hitting these challenges, but you're standing strong and you will continue moving forward where you started. You will continue. surveying and looking out and, watching for the moment. It's like you're watching for a moment when things will change for yourself. Um, what I think the Oracle is telling us is that uh, there's a big message about trusting the universe and opening like the lotus and full moon culmination. Take stock of your accomplishments. So I think in this process of trying to bring something out or trying to move something forward for yourself, um, I think the universe is saying, try not to micromanage it so much. Perhaps maybe it's time to uh, kind of sit back and take a deep breath, and let things unfold a little more than trying to push things forward. Because this is somebody who's very careful. And, we've got a week ahead of us. So before I, would look at another week and see how we're doing. So I think it's just saying, try not to push things so hard. I think it's trying to say good things are coming, that you will see good things. So, try not to micromanage, try not to push so hard. Go ahead and take your steps, work on your manifestation, but do not, um, just don't, uh, like I feel like I'm repeating myself. I guess I am repeating myself, uh, but just don't micromanage it. So, don't be looking at it every second and find ways to have um, some downtime and relax and all that kind of stuff. I think of myself when I look at this and I'm thinking, yeah, um, trying to start up a channel is a lot of work. And I'm doing it. I'm really not doing it for money. I'm doing it more as a challenge to myself as to, can I do this? I used to be in business and then I had my special needs daughter and I wasn't able to get back into it and my life changed with that. And now I'm kind of at a place where I'm never going to go back to what I had, but I am challenging myself. I'm in my Saturn return, so I'm challenging myself um, to see what I can accomplish. But you know at the same time, I know what my astrology looks like, and I know there's a lot of, and it's the same for everyone. It's like there's these astrological components that um, kind of send psychological urges your way. And, sometimes it manifests not inside your head, but, in an experience. And they nudge you in certain directions. And, um, you know, we do have choices in the world, but there's a whole lot of stuff that's kind of directed as well. And I think that comes from before we're born, where we say, yeah, I'm gonna live this kind of life, and we agreed to this direction that's gonna happen for us. So um yeah, I think, it's saying in these cards, it's saying the main message to repeat one more time, and then I won't take up your time anymore, but um don't micromanage, and you will open like the lotus, the flowering spirit with revelation and maturity. Just to, reiterate what these cards are saying, you will celebrate and transcend and be in a place of delight. So enjoy the experience. Don't push yourself to the point where you're like a nervous wreck. And the tarot cards are just saying the details of the week. They're saying, yeah, you might have an idea and you get excited about it because Knight of Wands is very passionate and excited, and you want to move forward, and that's fine. Just don't put yourself in a place where you're going to make yourself miserable. Enjoy the experience. Even when you're moving forward and building something, just enjoy the ride. I guess that's the ultimate and final little message is enjoy the ride, right? So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my read, and I hope you have a great weekend, friends, and a great week ahead. And I will see you again on what's the word? No, I'll see you. It's Sunday. Oh, yeah, I'll see you for Stargazing Sunday. So, all right, take care.